Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. Wherever you are, again, I'm here. Uh, as a result of the community engagement, you're most welcome wherever you are. We are here, and again, probably if you are watching, or wherever you are we talking about submission and law, probably as it relates to human rights. And when you talk about love, and when we talk about the fact that this week is a Passion Week, so it's not just in line with all the Passion Week, but that's the topic we have. And many times we discuss about human rights, and submission is one of the most important things when we talk about submission to the laws. Some of the things we talk about, we can submit to something when we are not applying the principles of that thing, when we don't know the principle of that thing, when we lack the capacity or the ability to comprehend and apply it, and then we might not even have love for all the passion that we have, in other words, to do what we're doing when it comes to promoting people's right. So it's a very uh, hard thing to say, but it's a reality that many of us, if not all of us, don't really have this whole thing called human rights to be the center of our discussion. And I tell you what, in the sectors of human rights, or in the wake of discussing human rights and the rule of law, you understand that there are people who have really not set their minds on that. So, in order for you to have the passion for what you agree to do, either you are a teachable ministry, you are a teachable organization, you decide to teach human rights, or you decide to get involved into some probably some social work. But the question, do you have passion as relate to human rights? Do you have love? Because I tell you what, it's grievous to know that as we discuss these topics, it's very educative and divine. When I came into this whole thing, it was not because I wanted to come into it. It was because I had the passion for people. So you must first have the passion for the people, love for your community, for the nation. No matter what in the nation is, the nation that you love. So as it relates to human rights, we can submit ourselves to even the laws of human rights when we're not applying the laws. We're only saying it. Well, we want to identify with certain people, and marginalize certain people. We say we're human rights actors. We say we are advocates. So what happens if love and submission is not understood according to the human rights setting, according to uh, the way our perceptions are with concern of people's rights. So if the community is deprived, if a man who don't have the passion or the love for that community, what happens? He obstructs justice, or probably he denied justice, or he denied the people the right to access to clean water, affordable home, economic empowerment, only because he doesn't love this group of people. So human rights are actually, and when it comes to love and submission, as it relates to human rights, based approach to development, the reason why, if not all of us, many institutions are not applying some of the things because maybe the people who are the head might not have love for the people who those assets may have intended for. So as we look at the word love and submission as it relates to human rights, our basic approach, actually, when we look at the basic approach to development, there are many institutions, that are many countries that are actually economically they are down, only because the people who supposed to be the advocates, or the ones that supposed to be the one to push those things to happen, don't love that particular place, country, environment, races of people. So you cannot be a human rights actor. No, you cannot be one who really call yourself, probably maybe you quote unquote you're a human rights person, or someone who want to advocate for people. So let's agree that I'm a famous guy. I like to go all over the place and show out myself to see whether I'm really serious about what I'm doing. See, where can you see the reality of someone who's serious is when you are into the group, when you are in the clique, and you are in and you begin to look at the way they conduct things and the way they look at other people. There where you can start to know that this person priority is business, is not this. Why it is truth? Now, this is serious in our circle of nations and all over the world. The fact remains, no matter what we do in life, we are responsible for our domestic. In other words, our family, our nation. But when it comes to the facts, that the reason why we come into this community of advocates, or probably people who have the passion to advocate for the rights of people, or whatever you think, your love for the people that you claim to advocate for should not be limited to a group of people because you are a Liberian, you're from a country, Guinean, or whatever country you're from. So then you prioritize that country, which is not a bad thing, because you got to. That's it. Could be that that's what you got on your according to your article in incorporation. And I'm talking in terms of love for people. I'm talking in terms of in general, even if that community was not a community that well you were born. So then when something comes on the table to discuss, it's like, well, insignificant people. These people don't deserve this thing. I guess I came from Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia guys are suffering. And why it is true this thing belong to these people? I beg you, like give it to Saudi Arabia. So then you obstruct the access, the one that belongs to them, because you don't love them. So human right is an entitlement to every individual, and that right should be protected by law, guaranteed by the state. So if I'm an advocate and I collaborate with a group of people, and maybe we're discussing, we have a meeting, and one person is saying something for me to adjust myself as a team leader, or one who believe probably, like we're talking about submission, we're talking about the wife, husband and wife in the context of husband and wife. Now we are talking the concept of human rights based approach when it comes to love and submission. So you submit to the laws, you submit to those international laws, 1989, the acts, I know that would say that the law identified the fact that we must be within. So the reality is, no matter how big or small we are, no matter how large probably the church or probably the organization or human right based organization, whatever civil right organization, civil societies, or whatever you are, you must have the passion, you must have the love. In order to submit to the international standard laws or whatever code of laws that talk about human rights based approach, or maybe implementing human rights principles, in the absence of love, you can implement it. So from time to time, now with the community engagement global mission, from time to time there have been some hindrances in our circles. Those instances that we experience may have happened due to the fact that somebody thought in their mind that well, I think we got to retrogress, or I mean we got to go back because, well, um, this is something that we can really do because these guys are insignificant. So you deprive people of their blessings because according to the way you feel. They may not be your tab. They may not be the people that are supposed to benefit according to your thoughts. Sanctify your country, sanctify your environment, wherever you control, they did not actually benefit from the thing that is supposed to benefit from. You hold them captive. So, in order for us to understand the dynamics of this whole thing called human rights, this whole thing called social justice, we must be able to hold ourselves accountable first. Know that we are driving a boat, but the boat that we are driving, it depends on how we drive the boat. It depends on the reality that the fact remains that the boat cannot be driven in the absence of probably an individual. So those who drive the boat must first have love. Those who are captains of those different organizations must have love. So in the absence of love, probably the church, civil society, whatever grouping that is grouped in order to implement will not be able to implement because based on the fact that, well, they are incapacitated. Their minds are thinking about something different as relate to human rights. So, so what happened if you don't have the passion, the love for actually looking after people, for advocating for their rights, you're really not going to go through. So you can see that probably people want to be on top. So what happens is they marginalize other people, well, by means of leave these significant guys, let them keep talking and see what comes out of it. But the thing about the issues of how people have been, I would not say brainwashed, but I would say because of the mindset and limitations of actually how they progress in the way of advancing human rights is that, well, okay, send this thing is like, I want to be on top of this. I don't care about the other guys. I just want to meet with the big guys. So then the point that is that once you are prioritizing only to meet with the big guys or to be with the big guys, then of course you are going to marginalize people, because most of the big guys, if not all of them, are not in the interest of the people. So why it is true that you got to rough shoulder, you got to be, in fact, in diplomacy, you gotta be up there, man. That is a good thing to do. You gotta be able to lobby it with legislature. There's no way that you can do with all that. But here's the facts. Why it is true that there's no way for you to deal with all of them, it is also true that you hold on to your stand-up and integrity when it comes to promoting human rights. So the human right-based approach to development cannot be achieved when a company that want to do something against the rights of the people. And you know the human right-based approach to development has to do with lobbying and standing for the people. Then of course you're not going to be, once you're not lobbying, you don't care about the people, you care about yourself, then of course no love. So you're not submitting to human rights. You don't trust the law. So when you come in that kind of situation, in conflict with that, what happens is that you lack the capacity to fulfill the people needs. So there where the gaps comes, and people are sometimes no development for many years, because in lobbying, if you don't have the passion and you go to see some of the legislature, go to the executive mansion, go to the big places, and after you got there and you got discussing some good things, and well, okay, yes, okay, probably you could go to the House of Representatives many times and talk to people. You could have access to many things, because why? Because of the access and connection to other people. Well, you can be connected to, like I was connected to the relationship advisor to the president. I went to the executive mansion to see him more than 2-3 times before coming to the state. Okay, but well, because he's my friend. But he, as my friend, could not do anything under the law. Even if I wanted him to do something, it would have taken some time. It would have gone through a lot of process, right? So it doesn't matter whether I befriend him. My concern is to be there for the people, to make sure that I love the people who I advocate for. I might be going there for a personal architecture, for my own personal reason. I want to have a job. I want to work with the government. Or maybe I want a guy to push me. I might not even go in there for the interests of people. So what am I saying this? I'm saying this in the context of love and submission. Because you see, we are messed up in the world today, and we are carried away by small things that really does not matter. In other words, people impress us on some simple thing that we need not to be impressed about. Once we cannot see the word law, one cannot see the application of law into that individual or organization. It's simple. This is about it. When we're talking about we can do away, we can do with all you and with all people. It's in the context. If it wasn't for the people that you're talking for, some of the guys who write projects and who will go and say, okay, we want to do this, it is because of the people. So my concern as a human rights activist is that if you say that this is what we're saying and we want this to happen, it is because of the people. So when it happens, why not the people? So love, because of lack of love for that group. So then you turn that in some cases, as alleged, sometimes good things want to happen for another group of people who actually need protected, but because of lack of law for them, people try to change their resources and turn it into something else. So sometimes it happens in more cases that people don't do what they actually projected or probably proposed to do. So, but with the community engagement, when we talk about love and submission, and as it relates to human rights based approach, I think we got to pray, yes, but we got to make sure that, well, if we're talking about how we can help people to change their mind and take responsibility of their communities, we should also be talking how we can empower them with the word, for them to know more about their rights, and how can they maintain the thing that they have in their community to expound, to begin to do something to make their community a safe place for all of them. Love, submission. So we cannot submit to these international instruments when we actually are not even applying it in our own lives, in our own organization. For it to start from the basics from our own institution. You might have a standard, you might have a goal, you might have a roadmap. Where are you going? So except you understand that this is where we are, and then this is where we want to be in the next 5 years. So our connections actually with people and with like-minded people who have the expertise and understand what it means when someone wants to get involved into politics, or someone wants to get involved into human rights probably issues, and want to start advocating for the rest of people. When we advocate for the rights of people with disabilities, there are different countries, there are different people all over the world, even in your own country, that are going through this problem of rights have been denied, making the church disability friendly, making the community, the workplaces disability friendly. This is what we're going to be talking about on Friday next week, as we talk about the issues of connecting the church to the community summit. You see, to be pervasive or to be passive minded, it depends on the way we apply it, the way we think about it. We can see that love is not just something you can just say, but you have to apply it. And sometimes you are watchful, you're looking as if you don't see. So, and you just care for what you care for. Okay, if you love somebody, even if they don't love you, keep loving them. When I say keep loving them, love them with the love of God. So let's say, for instance, you love this person, you love them, but they don't love you. So what you do, you keep loving them for the love of God, but you might be driven away, and God might call you to do something else, or might maybe someone come into your life that you love, and they are ready to go into your love, and for you guys to make a better life. That's part of domestic. Now, so the same with the collaborating partners and leaders and people who ready to think about what they're going. Love them. You love the work we do. We coordinate together. You give part, I give part of it. Let's move together. That make it happen. So the love for the job we do, and when you talk about as it relates to human rights based approach or human rights, or whatever thing that you're doing, you must advocate for the rights of people, not based on the fact that you know them, not based on the fact that, well, because these people are not my tab, or I'm the higher guy, so I'm not going to seek anything of redress to help these guys because they are insignificant. And I'll tell you the truth, man. People I maybe self-centered. If you look back, you see some of the guys who probably claim to be human rights actors. Well, there are some institutions like human rights based. They are not passionate based human rights organizations. They might be just maybe giving professional service so that it can help to change people's life so that they can get in that area. People who have the passion. We got different institutions with different motive, with different vision. For the community engagement, we are centered on teaching. We are centered on promoting human rights in the world. We are centered upon love, basically for the people. So we are not just for, well, okay, we want to teach human rights or we want to expand the world of human rights. No, we are for teaching it and we want to apply it, basically. And how can we apply it if we don't have love? And that's what we're talking about. So you must have love for the people that you're talking about, because you see, how do you know that this institution have love? Is when this institution stick to the point where it says, well, human rights for all, and actually don't compromise the fate of a group of people based on the fact that I'm not from that country. Like the people of Haiti, okay, they go into a lot of stuff, but how can the people of Haiti release, even though it should start from themselves? And that's what I tell people. We advocate for people's rights. Love must be at the bottom of our heart for the nation. So when we speak of human rights, we speak of heart for nation, heart for people. No matter where they come from, there should be no barriers. No barriers in the sense that if I'm speaking for a community that is not Liberia, where access, when opportunity comes, where that community need to be benefited, I say no, because I'm from Liberia, so let me benefit Liberia. No, that's what I'm saying. So then you don't have the law for as human rights actors. As human rights actors, if I have co-workers with me and the guys are promoting human rights and working along with me and making sure that well, they promote human rights according to the principles of the community engagement. So if while it is true that we are promoting human rights, we are asking for access, we want ground, we want money, and then God bless us, money comes into the position that I said, no, the guys were being advocated, but they are insignificant. So they're not going to get some of this money, probably because, well, it's for from me and my family. And let me just, my man, okay, my man, I will see you guys. Then I start to change my teaching. I start to change the rules. I start to change the policy. That not even policy, but the policy to stay there because everybody know the policy. But then I start to do different things as what we wrote for. So then you don't have law for what you do. Simple. And I watch a lot of people do that in the world because, well, they think in their own mind that, well, okay, let's just push this thing. When it happened, then we shift it this way. Well, I will tell you that I don't care what you do. You have what you have. What for you? For you. You are 501c3. You deserve your paid. And there are a lot to be done in order to have access as the person who's doing the work. But it does not and should not make us to convert. Then there is no love for the job. So in other words, we need to begin to put the people in the center of our discussions. If we talk about disability rights, well, we need to promote it. If there is an opportunity for them, we need to make sure we push it. So we cannot and we should not think that, well, okay, because we are at the crossroad of what we're discussing. So Jarvis, let leave this stuff here and just let's do this because we got to follow the principles of the organization. But again, let have to build this up. Forget about these people, man. And even though we promoted them, even though we wrote for them to be benefited, we want to give 10 of their scholarship, but I got to do all this, man. I got to do this, I got to do that. So what happened? You don't have to love for what you say you were doing, but you're only doing it in order to cover it up. So human rights, actually, when it comes to love and submission, you're not going to be submitting to anything when you begin to think about this stuff. There are a lot of people doing it, but they are doing it to be seen, to only be seen. How many of us comes here to talk about the real thing of human rights? So what I'm saying is that let us not it shouldn't be messed up with our business because the community engagement will have a business part of this whole thing. We believe in taking contracts from different institutions to promote their human rights. We talk about community engagement. We can take contracts to provide services to your community. We are going to be taking contracts to do a lot of different things in the community, and that will also help the institution to sustain it and the work we do. So when you look at community engagement, it has to do with promoting fire extinguishers, talking about prevention of fire, a lot of different stuff. And once it's involved community. So because of our passion, of the vision we have. So because of the love, probably when your organization is spotlight, and let agree that we have a little project, what you'll be thinking about? You'll be thinking about how can you provide wheelchair for the people that are vulnerable. Now, when we saw the old lady, may her soul rest in peace, the old lady who were beaten and died. Now, up to now, I've yet to get the information because I think it is alleged that she was at the church. And the reason why I would say it's alleged, because it could not be a church and it could not be a community leader as alleged. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about love and submission. So it could not be a community leader who was probably assigned to a community, who took the oath to be a leader for his community. So as we can engage these kind of people, then of course, then we get to know that they're really not community leaders. I'm going to be talking to cross sections of them, probably to talk to them privately on the Zoom. Why? You cannot say you are a community leader. You cannot say you are a church. And then an old lady who was sick or an accident, maybe they were in your church, and your church did not advocate for a wheelchair for that old lady that was killed, that died recently in the hospital. Your church hosted her. If it is alleged, if it is true, the church that hosted her and were keeping her praying could not advocate to get a wheelchair, or the community leader could not advocate, but could say the old lady older or what she's smelling or whatever happening as the information comes. You don't have love or passion for the world as a leader. And that's what we're talking about. So as it relates to the human rights-based approach, how can you now advocate for the fact that you should have wheelchairs? That part of development, human capacity building. So when you provide a wheelchair for a person who is not accessible, then of course you build the capacity in that level. So once you lack the love, you're not going to submit to the human rights-based approach. So looking at these instances, looking at the incident in Liberia with that old lady, and then the guys met her on the road right there, and I bet you, if she had a wheelchair, those of us who listen to the sound of my voice, if she was in the wheelchair, she wouldn't have been there. And if she were in the wheelchair, there would be a different thought of anybody that saw her that day. So we call ourselves pastors and leaders if it is truth as alleged. Let agree that, I was talking 3 days ago about, let us not be looking at the witchcraft or people who are already not witchcraft and we say it's a witchcraft. Because the witchcraft right in the church some places. The witchcraft is right sitting with us. The witchcraft is people who talk to us, some of them. And there's a guy always talk about, he put something on Facebook, he talked talk about the doctrine or what, fornication or all that. He emphasized also those good things, which is biblical. Everybody knows about that. But the truth of it, he would not emphasize on things that happens with inside of us that is killing the church. You see, let us agree that we set one thing up and keep by muffin people, keep judgmenting. To be become judgmental or people of sin. But let us agree that many of us, if not all of us, have already killed a lot of people only because we are against them. That means if you go behind somebody to talk in their homes, if you intrude into people's relationships, if you deny people of the rights of what they're supposed to have and you deny them, maybe it was the last day they would have lived if that thing were provided for them. Or probably it is the last day that where they could be sustained. You deny them. Most of us, if not all of us, are caused many people to go to the early grave, but we call ourselves not witchcraft. So to love, in other words, to do this job, you must love. You must not take it to be like just a money making only. You got to make money because you got to do all you can to pay your dues and your bills and everything, pay your tithes. But this is a question when it comes to love and submission as it relates to human rights. So we cannot achieve. I would be very frank with you, with other people around. I will not achieve. I'm not going to be talking to dogs that are going to go to the dogs to provide material. Well, the dogs can get some of the stuff. In the West, you see dogs is prioritized. But what I'm saying here is that I can't not have access when I'm not talking to people. So human right-based approach to development and as related to this whole thing we are talking about today is that if we as people don't have the love for the thing that we say we are into, it is a vain repetition. We are just saying it to gain favor. We want to be saying, you can see all over the place. Sometimes when I see people on Facebook, and then it makes me shed tears because, well, the thing in their own mind that, well, to go and just go all over the place, that's enough to be called maybe a social worker or human rights activist or someone who really serious about what they say they want to do or doing. Look, if you want to get in politics, you want to represent people, and those are things that you can do in order to get on the top. But you can't be an advocate. I will tell people, you are not an advocate. Okay, not everyone is an advocate. We can see after 4 last year, we saw one of the top guy who is like a penny. I can say a pin right now. When he comes on the media and he talk as if he really serious and love the people. But people give to that guy. People give to people who even insult their own self. So let's be realistic, right? If our Java specimen decided to come on this media, not to educate you, not to give you some concept principles about human rights, And well, how can we engage each other? There are some things I say here, you come to your senses, you understand. If I come here and start insulting my mother or a woman who bore me, and you call yourself a woman, and you are taking it to be joke, and you are sewing into me, and you're acting like if to say I'm really serious of what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about, love. Do you have love for the people you advocate for? So human rights, I mean love and submission as it relates to the human right is because you're speaking about people's right. So how can you be speaking about the same people right and insult them? Is it possible? So you are speaking about someone's rights, but then you're insulting another person. So we need to understand the reality of what we do here on social media and the passion we have for the people. This is not just to say something. I'm sorry, man. I can just say something because I want to say it. It should come from the bottom of my heart. Even though sometimes we have to do something that's phrase our whole of value to attract people to what we're doing. Yes, I agree. We want to create content. Some of us, we just want to create content, but we don't want to create content to educate people or for people to be aware of what's going on in the world. Some of us just want to create content, lie on other people. Because at the end of the day, after the content has been created, we think in our mind that we're getting money from Facebook. So then, well, we have already lied in our past. When I come up here, like I said the last time, I come up here, Jarvis' best friend, and bring a little girl right here and start kissing her right now and kissing her real kiss, holding her breast up there. You guys going to be more than 2,000, 3,000. Right now, it's going to be going viral. People will be sending it all over the place. Why? Because that's what you want to see. If I start insulting and bring my mother and start ridiculing her right here, or start doing some things right here, you are going to send this video almost to thousands of people. We need to learn how to prioritize the thing that will make us to learn and increase in the level of understanding so that we can change our mentality, so that we can grow to the place of realizing that we are responsible. Here in our engagement, we talk about rights and responsibilities. In my conclusion, in order for us to love, in order for us to love as human rights actors, whether our CEO, president, or whoever you are in the human rights phrase of development, whatever organization you find yourself, ask yourself today, whether you have passion for what you do. Ask yourself, whether you are a president, whether you are a CEO, whether you are a whatever you are, maybe project director or whatever, or you're a promoter, whether you're doing it sincerely in order for the people's right to be protected, or you're doing it to be famous so that you can sit down so that people can recognize you, then you go into government. Is that what you are getting into human rights for? Then, of course, that's the wrong motive. You can be a political activist. You can be someone who want to promote or try to give to society because you want to promote it, you want to be somewhere. But when you are a human rights institution or a bigger institution in the world, or one of the pronounced institutions in the community, or wherever you are in the world, as a human rights actor, you must be there for the people. Now, for the people who are around you, or probably who are part of you, who you know that part of you, when something happened to them, it happened to you. You see, what I do realize, and I will tell you on this Facebook today, there are people who have actually decided to be part of whatever they are doing, only because, well, the fee, maybe they can do it because they can get money, but they are not serious. You can see that they might have maybe gotten opportunity, so they think in their own mind that impressed the world. Well, it could impress the world because sometimes the people have itching ears. Their eyes are just, I want to see something. But I want to advise us. I can be a human rights actors or probably collaborating partners or people who are called to be my co-workers, people who work with me. Something happened to them. I pretend that I don't see it. Well, I'm sorry. And I'm becoming to be more sensitive to realize in more cases that people only think about themselves. They don't have time for the others who may be buttressing their effort or maybe collaborating with all of us. And the reason is because they think in their own mind they have arrived. And we need to come to the place where when we talk about love and submission, we must put the people in the center. The people those means maybe the co-workers, maybe if I have a co-workers, and like in Liberia, I have Yawa, I have my son, and the other guys who are there are probably volunteers and people who are helping. Then, well, something happened to them. I don't call them. I don't even tell them sorry. I don't have time, even if they even put it on Facebook. I act like if to see I didn't see it. I disaffiliate myself from them, but I want their support. The deception. And once you are in that kind of mind, you're not going to get people to support you when it comes to buttressing your effort, because what happens is you don't have time for them. You only feel that, well, I just want their service. Any other thing that regard them insignificant, I forget about it, then it means that you're not serious. So the love we're talking about as it relates to the love and submission, we say we're submitting to the rights of international laws, but we don't love. Because the international law is applying to human being, not the laws alone. If we apply to human being, the people are the human resource development. It is the people, the future, that are going to continue this thing that we're doing here. So if they are not capacitated, if we deny them the access, if we don't love them, how can we fulfill this thing called human rights of entitlement? Serious. And this is something that we need to take on the round table and discuss it, because it's killing our nations. If you don't have the passion, the love for maybe volunteering or giving your service to whatever you want to give your service to, look, man, don't do that. LeBron, how to call her, Prophet LeBron or Thompson, who is, I think, in Tennessee, a great woman also. She should be coming on my show, I think, the second Thursday on the Hour of Empowerment. We have another lady from they call Lynch. Lynch is on the first Thursday. She's coming on the show. I went to her at Rhea show 5 weeks ago. So coordination. When you respect people's rights, when you have passion for what you do, you can see it inside of you. It begins from right in your circle. So if you don't have passion, the people that even coordinate work with you don't have passion, you don't have time for them. You pretend innocent to see you don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. It's a sad thing to know that people ready not in this for the reality. I'm sorry. And I don't take credence. I don't bite and blow on something that you can see the reality. And that's what is killing nations, that what is killing organizations, that what is killing churches, that what is killing institutions in the world. You can be the bigger person if you don't love the job that you do as it relates to human rights approach or base approach to development. You are not going to fulfill it because your center point is yourself. It's not about what you're saying. You can have people around you, and then those people are walking. God forbid, man. God forbid. God forbid. God forbid. Those people are working, and that's why the community engagement is going to expose people who think that is serious about this whole thing. We're not going to call any name in the whole world, everything we do. We're not going to call no name, but we're going to expose people by means of the education we have, because that's what the community engagement is all about. Educating people, open their eyes, let them be aware of people around us so that they can be careful. Love. So if I work with you, or if I coordinate with you and I see that, well, okay, this guy or this lady or this person doesn't care. Okay, so I'm going to love you, but I'm not going to continue to do what I'm doing, because what happens, I got to focus on something so that you can understand also that this is about love when it comes to advocating for the rights of people, putting them in the middle of what we're doing. Now, I can go to every community. I should be, probably by the special grace of God, in April, I should be celebrating something in Liberia if those things arrive. Toys and things that I feel, well, will be good for the people. And I want to celebrate. I want to begin to understand. Look, I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Very passionate about it. At the Redeemed Christian Church of God, in the next 3, 4, 5 months, we believe we're going to be having a pantry that we gave up that to our society. I'm working in collaboration, volunteering, and making things happen. Why? Because that is my passion. I want you to understand that that job you have today can only be effective when you maintain it. The life you have today cannot only be effective when you maintain it. The grace that God gave you, and you satisfy with the grace. And you are no longer talking about the issue. And so the question about the reality of the job that I do is that I have the passion. And so if someone who is in this area, and you can see that, well, this person don't have the passion, you don't have to bother them. That is what the thing. That is, their own mentality. So to have love for something and to apply it into your life, and so that not only that people would know, so that you can see that you don't have to die for people, but you got to make some effort. Because even everything you do, they will still cost you. They will still tell you you didn't do anything. There are women that like that also. You can do everything for them. They will still say you didn't do anything. We know. You can do everything for any institution. An institution, you will know that institution that don't appreciate. You can do everything you can want to do do the best you can. They're not going to appreciate you. But do everything you can do for the center, for the love of what you're doing, not for them. And that's where we are. The reason God called us and the reason that we have the passion is because we just have the passion to do what we're doing. So can you imagine if resources start flowing, what will happen? Which we believe is coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And I want to encourage us to love what we're doing. In this time of our, have to go to next week, our Holy Week, as we go through this Holy Week, I want us to pray and I want us to believe that God has put us on the planet to have love. If we don't love what we're doing and submit to the principles of the Declaration of Human Rights, as it has to do with the base approach to development. Then, of course, we're not going to develop. We're just going to remain in the cycle all the time. If your institution is based on the business, it's not actually for the people, then that's your institution. You believe you need to increase the capacity of your business. But if you don't increase the capacity of your business, it means that you have not gotten anything. Okay, so I want to say thank you and continue to do what you're doing. Set yourself on top of it. Be driven by nothing. Be answered for nothing. I believe that if you don't have the love, if you don't have the passion for what you do, it means that you're just doing it in vain. Have the passion. That's the bottom line. So put the people in the center of what you discuss. If the people is not in the center of what you discuss, it means that this 30 minutes are taken to talk of it's just for nothing. I leave here and go and just do it because I want for people to see me. If I come on Sunday and preach, I preach and go back and don't come. I don't care about the whole week. But I come back on Sunday again and preach. What is the essence of preaching? We're all applying. What is the essence of saying everything? We're all applying it. There's no essence. So I want to say to all of us, well, okay, submit yourself, have the love, have the passion for what you do, because if you don't have the passion, man, you can see, people will see it. How do you see the passion in my conclusion? You can see it when you see the level of that person or that institution. When it comes to human rights-based approach to development, when it comes to love and submission, it's about what you say, that support that goes to the people or for the people, then you care for them. So if you don't have care for the people that you minister to or that you talk about, then of course, the essence of being a human rights activist or whatever you are doing in your life, it means there is no value. You only get there because you want the money. And people will judge you by that. People will look at you and start to confront you. So the community engagement is all about engaging people and telling people about the reality, what is most expected of us as a human rights actors. So CEOs and president and everybody that all over the place, well, I want to encourage us that if we center our mind on it to equip ourselves, to financially equip ourselves, build ourselves, and forget about the center of what we are discussing when it comes to human rights, then of course the essence will not be visible. So I want to thank you and thank you for following. And I think that, well, we can all work together to make a big difference in our society. We cannot do it alone. I depend on you. You depend on me. If you don't depend on me, you depend on another person. But I cannot do it without you. So thank you for following. Bless you and be a blessing to somebody. Be a blessing to a community. Be the one to make that community to be proud. Even if you leave that community, even if you leave that wife, that woman that is overlooking you, even if you leave her, she will say, I miss you. That's what love is all about. So even if you are taken from the Senate or representative or presidency, the people who know what to do will miss you. So just do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do because you have the passion to do it, but not because you want to show up. So thank you. Follow us for more. Until we meet again next week. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself and understand that the passion that God gave you, your love for what you're doing as human rights actors in civil rights organization, is based on the fact that you are dead, you are here for the people and not for only yourself, to fuck yourself up, forget about the things you say. Tomorrow, there's no development in your community. There's nothing you can see. People that stay the same, then the essence of promoting human rights will be nothing. So let us make it and work together to make a big change in our society. Thank you. Join us, follow us for the Holy Week. We're going to be very active beginning tomorrow night. and to be beginning all through until Friday as we talk about the connecting the church to the community summit. You're welcome next week. It's going to be a good time with guests and then people who will be speaking and talking about how can we connect the church, making the church disability friendly, making the community disability friendly. Don't forget to join us and be a guest. Let's talk about it and let's do it.